My great-grandfather actually visited Japan more than a century ago, and he built a patent medicine factory in Shanghai.
Oh.
And my grandfather was a member of Parliament in Canada. He was in the Asia Pacific Relations Committee. So he came as a politician in the 1930s
Okay.
to negotiate with the military government of Japan at the time. My father was a diplomat, and he came here for various negotiations. So I'm the fourth generation of my family to visit Japan. So it was the house was full of books about Asia, and I heard a lot of stories. But that's one reason. Another is that when I was in high school, it was sort of like the hippie times, and the talk in the school was that if you went to university, you'd get brainwashed and turned into a consumer, and so I decided that I wanted to escape from civilization in order to learn about it. So I went to the Amazon.
Really?
When I was 17, I was studying with a shaman, with the Shipibo Indians in the Amazon. But the thing is, when you're outside of civilization, what I noticed was they had in the port city of Pucallpa, which is like the end of the road into the Amazon, they had this big, like, middle-class American suburb, and it was full of these missionaries who would fly over the jungle into these uncontacted tribes, and they'd drop down, and the tribes would shoot up arrows and spears, and they would drop down these packages with machetes and mirrors and pots and stuff, and then microphones, and they would learn the language, and then hopefully they would eventually land their water plane and try to visit these people and convert them to Christianity. The problem was, right next to them was this oil company, So the idea is that if they can turn these people into Christian slaves, they can then go in and exploit the oil. So I could see that civilization was destroying the Amazon, and the people, in outside were saying, hey, they're going to destroy the forest soon, we got to do something about it. And a lot of people in South America had hopes that Japan or Asia would come to help. So I decided I did want to go to university, but I wanted to do it in a non-Western country.
Okay.
So I was either going to go to India, China, or Japan, but China at the time was the Cultural Revolution, and they put foreign students in dormitories and didn't let them talk to Chinese people.
So which year are we talking about now?
Around 1978. So
74.
just before, like 77, around that time. When I was first studying about what to do. India, they just copied the British system, and they had like 600 students per class, and then I found about Japan, and I ended up going to Sophia University, which is a Jesuit university. I'm not a Jesuit, but my family I wasn't brought up religious, but they had one of the best Asian studies programs in the world. So
my younger son is applying there next month.
So I went there, but after about 3 years, I decided, at first I didn't want to graduate, but I decided I wanted to graduate, and the Japanese Education Ministry had certain mandatory courses I had to take to graduate. So, for example, I had to study English, and since I'm a native speaker, that was nonsense,